Cabinet insists all members of Parliament declare their assets to the Integrity Commission or be prosecuted.
Guyana will import sugar to satisfy its domestic and overseas demands in light of the production decline at Gaisuco Estates in 2008.
And the Guyana Revenue Authority prepares to embark on an awareness campaign to sensitize the public on the laws relating to late filing of returns.
And of course, we will bring you the latest sporting action in the Diamond Mineral Water and NCN Sport News. Hello, good evening. I am Janelle Prasad.
And I'm Paul Moore.
With this edition of the 6 o'clock news for today, Thursday, January 29, 2009. Here's what's happening. Paul?
Thanks, Janelle. Cabinet is insisting that all members of Parliament declare their assets to the Integrity Commission or be prosecuted. This was relayed by its Secretary, Dr. Roger Luncheon, at the weekly media briefing today, following on the heels of debate back and forth on the issues surrounding the Integrity Commission. Here's more.
Cabinet's contention is the law must be complied with, and all MPs, among others, but all MPs must submit declarations. If they don't, then the full sanctions of the law would be brought against them.
A position the Cabinet has been holding since President Barra Jagdeo issued an ultimatum to this effect just over 2 weeks ago. Dr. Luncheon expressed shock on the Cabinet's behalf that the persons who have refused to make the declarations are the ones who have continuously preached against corruption.
Cabinet noted strangely that many who today are maligning the actions of the administration with regards to enforcing compliance with the law were yesterday the champions of accountability in public office.
He believes that these parliamentarians should be ashamed. Dr. Luncheon was instructed by President Barra Jagdeo to hold consultations with the opposition on the resuscitation of the Integrity Commission. And when asked about the status of those consultations, the Cabinet Secretary disclosed that the opposition leader was already sent an invitation and that the process should start soon. All persons who hold public offices must make these declarations to the Integrity Commission on a yearly basis. This covers the period July 1 to June 29 the following year. This means that persons would have had to make their 2009 declarations between July 1 last year to June 29 this year. The law to facilitate this process was passed in 1997 with the aim of ensuring transparency and accountability in public life. President Barra Jagdeo about 3 weeks ago issued a strong warning to members of Parliament to declare their assets or face legal action. The opposition had then made it clear that it will not do so, pointing to the legality of the commission as a reason. The president was merely acting on a call made by the very opposition to have forensic auditing extended to public figures. Guyana will be importing sugar to satisfy its domestic and overseas demands in light of the production decline at Gaisuco Estates in 2008. This was disclosed by Cabinet Secretary Dr. Roger Luncheon during his post-Cabinet press briefing earlier today. Here's that report.
In the face of production declines in 2008, Cabinet Secretary Dr. Roger Luncheon says Gaisuco has decided to import sugar to meet its commitments.
The corporation, obviously, looking at the market, has decided that we will not abandon our commercial and business arrangements, agreements, trade deals, and therefore the substitution or the importation of sugar would allow domestic demands to be also met.
Dr. Luncheon says first crop production figures will have to be assessed to determine the importation requirements. According to Gaisuco, some 12,000 tons of sugar is reserved for the local market each year, while the remainder is exported.
So it's a pretty straightforward mathematical sort of identity. Production would need to address external and internal demand, and if production falls, external demand is to be met and internal demand is to be met. This is the amount that would need to be provided.
An interim board was recently appointed to develop and implement a turnaround plan for the sugar industry. This includes reviewing and refocusing the corporation's expenditure to fix existing problems. In the meantime, government has already pressed for the contractual $5.2 million in delayed damages for the Skeldon Sugar Factory. The administration is hoping that the factory will be on stream soon. Reporting for the 6 o'clock news, I'm Shard Lal.
The Guyana Revenue Authority will be embarking on an awareness campaign to sensitize the public on the laws relating to late filing of returns. The GRA says failure to submit returns by the stipulated date will incur penalties pursuant to Section 99 of the Income Tax Act. Recognizing taxpayers' ignorance of the law, the GRA says it will not pursue the applicable penalties as stated in a previous notice. Taxpayers are therefore advised by the revenue body to ensure their returns are filed in accordance with the law. The Commerce Ministry will be meeting with relevant stakeholders to address the issue of unlabeled products being smuggled into Guyana. Local manufacturers have expressed concern about the impact of smuggled goods on their businesses. As such, Commerce Minister Maniram Prashad says several stakeholders will be meeting to examine possible ways of dealing with this problem.
That we'd have to address carefully, and the Food and Drug Department also too. We have to address those areas as to the kind of products coming into the country and the quality of the products. So I'm glad you raised that, and surely my ministry will be addressing those concerns very, very soon. We'll engage those stakeholders and work along with them, listen to their observations and concerns, and see how we can improve on that.
Recently, Banks DIH Chairman Clifford Rees indicated that this has been having a severe impact on his company since importers are selling at cheaper prices. The chairman had also called for enforcement of legislation which makes it mandatory for the names and addresses of importers to be placed on products.